She's rocking so many good diamonds, oh my god!
Hello, my name is Demi. I just wanted to say thank you so much for the lovely introduction, and to the JED Foundation for bringing us all together. I am honored to be here tonight and so thrilled to see so many committed people who are improving mental health and the lives of others. I've had the privilege of collaborating with the JED Foundation since 2011, when I began working with the Love is Louder program. Then I'm not good at speeches, so bear with me. I now have that anxiety. I had it before, but whatever. Where was I? Then I was just beginning my journey, and I'm a much different person now. I'm excited about being a part of this now because I have more to share, and the message is even more authentic to me now than I've ever lived it. I have been and continue to be on a journey to love myself and to others. The message of this program is clear. No matter how bad things get, the most important thing is to remember that love and support are louder than anything that threatens to bring us down. I'm amazed by people like you who make it cool to stand up for emotional health and to recognize the signs of symptoms of mental illness and make it okay to speak up and ask for help when you're struggling. I've gone through some dark times, but I'm proud to say that today I am living proof that someone can live, love, and thrive with mental illness if they get connected with professional resources and accept support as soon as possible. Finding the right support is a journey in itself. I've worked within different recovery programs with different doctors. You must have the right team around you in order to see real growth. In the end, I found a program that worked for me and helped build a solid team of support around me. I, in turn, learned to accept that support from my family, friends, and my professional team. At different times in your life, you need different things, and my program was able to provide me with flexibility, care, and treatment, and a team that fits my needs. Sometimes you have to keep trying to find a program that works with you. There is a fit for everyone, so keep looking for it if you haven't found it yet. Mental illness can affect anyone. It has no prejudice. Despite spending so much time in the public eye, I used to spend that time feeling depressed, withdrawn, disconnected, and angry. There were long stretches where I felt with shame and tried to medicate myself. Finding any way outside of myself just to feel better and normal. I've endured my life by going between eating as little as possible to compulsively overeating and vomiting. I would eat to find happiness, fill the emptiness, and mask the pain. Then I did the same thing with drugs. When I finally got diagnosed with bipolar disorder, it was a relief in so many ways. It helped me to start to make sense of my extreme depression, bipolar depression, and all of the harmful things I was doing to cope. I had low periods that were so emotionally draining that I couldn't even find the strength to crawl out of bed. There were times that I was honored for things or interviews where I pretended to be happy, but I was loaded on drugs. The symptoms for bipolar depression aren't pretty, and they're certainly not fun. But for me, the guilt was probably the worst of all. Fans would thank me for being such a strong role model, and that was devastating. I felt anything but strong. I felt like I was living a double life. And that guilt only worsened the negative feelings that I already had. I couldn't understand why someone like me, with all the resources and reasons in the world to be emotionally well, couldn't find happiness. Today there are much different things, and I've known from putting it all out there in the public, good and bad. I tend to let it go, and don't keep much from the media and my fans. Get it? There's a reason I want people to know what I've been through. The symptoms of bipolar depression and other mental illness can be dark and isolating, and I want to break down that isolation. Too many people are suffering alone, and too many people are dying, and it's unacceptable. Did you know that 1 in 5 people with bipolar disorder takes their own life? When I first heard this statistic, I was terrified. I definitely know more than 5 people living with bipolar disorder, and I bet many of you know many too. The JED Foundation focuses on young adults for a good reason. This is the time in our lives when mental health symptoms often start to get worse. All young adults struggle somewhat as they're trying to figure themselves out. But for those of us who are trying to do the right thing while also dealing with mental illness, life can get pretty out of control pretty fast. That's why it's become my personal mission to share with others that there's life on the other side of times when it seems so dark. I know I'm lucky, I found hope, and I try to live in a constant state of gratitude. But this doesn't happen all at once. There isn't one day when the light went on and said, I'm cured, I'm better. The reality is that you're not a car and you can't just go into the shop and get fixed immediately. You need ongoing maintenance. There will always be work left to do, and this journey to be well is an extreme process, but it's worth it. I started by getting rid of people who were bad influences. I couldn't continue to pursue a path of self-destruction with them. I did it to get well. I had no cell phone for 6 months because the phone was a resource I would use to find support with drugs. It was a way for me to isolate. I lived in a recovery house for a year because I needed a safe place to call home with a support group to build in. Along with the 6 months without my cell phone, I also surrendered my credit card, my driver's license, all of my privacy. And even though it was extreme and it was very difficult for me, it was so worth it. And it was when I made that decision, when I finally made that decision to get help and to go to any lengths to get help. That's when it really made a difference. Today, I'm devoted to the people that I care about, my family, my little sister, my friends. I'm also devoted to my fans and the messaging that I try to provide. I'm working on it every single day. Seeing a therapist, being honest, taking my medication, taking care of my body, and being grateful for things. I know that I'm really lucky, which I like to say, instead of lucky, I'm really blessed. Some people do not have the resources or connections or support that I have. Imagine the hope that we can give back to people by creating widespread support and showing the world that it is possible to get through the darkest times and end up in a place of strength, surrounded by amazing and supportive people like you. Once I realized how many people I could reach by owning up to my illness and being honest with my fans and others, I got so excited about the possibilities. I'm proud of how far I've come, but I still have so many more dreams that I want to accomplish. My biggest dream in the past was solely winning a Grammy, but now my biggest dream is to one day raise a family and live a healthy life and be a mommy and just be a good parent. This dream keeps me working on myself and my career as well. And I may never win a Grammy, but I know that the life I've lived today is so worth all the hard work I've put into myself. In my journey to become a mental health advocate, I hope to learn from others who have gone through this before me, some who are out there in the crowd tonight. In my book, Staying Strong, I choose quotes for each day of the year. When I look at the quote for today, I find it particularly appropriate. It's from Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. I truly believe that each of us is capable of making a difference, especially when there are groups like the JED Foundation out there to help us. Each of us is born with our own inherent power to accomplish extraordinary things in our lives. I want to show the world that there is life, surprising, wonderful, and unexpected life after diagnosis. And more than anything else, I want my most extraordinary accomplishment to overcome my commitment to mental health advocacy. I truly believe the future of mental health advocacy is the power of all young adults to make their mark. That's why I'm so proud to introduce the 2014 recipient of the Jerry Greenspan Student Voice of Mental Health Award. This award is a $2,000 scholarship. It's presented each year to a student who is reducing prejudice around mental illness, raising awareness of mental health problems on campus, and encouraging help-seeking among peers. This year's award recipient, Margaret Kramer, is living proof that light can come from darkness and that personal experience can drive actions tied to advocacy and change. After recovering from battling an eating disorder and learning that there were others out there who needed help and information, Margaret began promoting awareness of student mental health at the University of South Carolina. She's been heavily involved with many campus initiatives during her time as mental health chair for the group Changing Carolina Peer Leaders, and her work contributed to the University of South Carolina being awarded the JED Campus Seal for comprehensive mental health programming. And if that's not impressive enough, which by the way is just as cool, if not more awesome, than getting a #1 single or winning an award, because you're making a difference in people's lives, and that's pretty incredible. If that's not impressive enough, she also devotes her time to groups such as the Bisexual, Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Alliance and the USC chapter of Active Minds. Please welcome Margaret to the stage. Congratulations. I'm very inspired by the work that you've done.
Hi. I just want to say too that quote that you mentioned is something that my mom gave me when I was recovering from my eating disorder, and it's something that I still look at every day. So I just want to say thank you very much, Demi Lovato, for that wonderful introduction, and also for the JED Foundation for recognizing me. Elie Wiesel once said, "We have to go into the despair and go beyond it, by doing for somebody else, by using it for something else." Just a few years ago, I was in my own version of despair. I was battling an eating disorder, and it felt like I was losing. More than anything, I felt alone. I was afraid for anyone to know that I had a mental illness. Based on what I heard from my peers in my high school, mental illness was a desperate grab for attention, or just plain scary. I felt like there was nowhere left for me to turn, and I definitely did not expect to end up here one day. It was once I began working with my team, my close friends, family, and professionals, that I began to see hope versus despair.